Anyway, so I want to say welcome. For those of y'all who haven't been here to notice the band's a little bit different today. We got Carissa back there on the keyboards, and then Dan is on the piano. He normally plays bass. He's filling in for Dan Long. And then we got Steven, who's filling in for Dan on bass. And of course me and Ken. So, anyways, let's all stand up this morning, and we're going to sing about our Redeemer. Yeah, you gotta sing loud. I know you rescued my soul. His blood covered my sin. I believe my shame is taken away. My pain is healed in His name. I believe. I'll raise a banner. My Lord has conquered the grave. My Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. I know you rescued my soul. His blood covered my sin. I believe my shame is taken away. My pain is healed in His name. I believe. Oh, I believe. Thou raise a banner. It's my Lord. It's conquered the grave. My Redeemer lives. 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 You lift my burden. Now I rise with you. Dancing on this mountain top to see your kingdom. My Redeemer lives. 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 My Redeemer
Good morning. So we probably, I'd say we have 10 times more people here this morning when we started the song. So if we sang it again, what would happen? I was just curious. But anyway, you want to sing it again? All right, you may be seated. Right, glad you're here this morning, and here. As you can tell, it's summertime. A lot of people have other things to do So for the young people, we have, we're meeting, young people are still meeting with Ms. Barker, and they're meeting in this youth room. Okay, so I come back to the youth room. That'll be junior high and high school meeting together for now. And then I also want to remind you that starting in the month of August, we're going to do a series of sermons on spiritual disciplines. And after having looked at some of the well, I used to coach soccer, and looking at some of the things that we teach our players to do. It's a good idea also for Christians to have some certain disciplines in our life. And I'll touch on a little bit on that today. Look forward to that coming up in August. Also, I want to remind you to join the city, www.taipei.org. One very important announcement. This past Monday, a week ago from yesterday, Jared Duxfield was taken to the hospital. I was headed out of town, actually. Candy and I left about 5 o'clock in the morning, so we're 2 hours down the road. It was about 7 o'clock. Jared called me and said, Pastor, I need some help. I need to go to the hospital. I said, I don't know what to do. So I called Dan Robinson, and he went and picked him up, and Jared was in really bad shape. He has Crohn's disease, and it acted up quite seriously, so much so that his small intestine is swollen shut. And it's just causing him enormous amounts of pain. And if you've been in the emergency room in a local Chinese hospital, you realize that you just don't get a bed right away, even if you need it. So he stayed in the hallway for quite a while, but after they were finally able to get him into a room and get some blood back into him and nutrients and so forth, he just changed completely to recovering quite well. So he's still in the hospital, be there through tomorrow. The reason I want to mention him, there's 2 reasons. Number one, I just want to thank many of you who responded and went to the hospital and said hello to him or called him and encouraged him. I know it was a great encouragement to him. But I also want to thank those of you who were on the city. And just to give you an example of how the city works. You can see that you get on the city, www.taipei.onthecity.org. This is kind of where our church meets. Our church is scattered throughout Taipei and surrounding areas during the week. We rarely have an opportunity to get together during the week except for small groups. And so it can be very difficult on Monday morning when something happens to get the news out there, except on the city. And it was just really fantastic to see how people responded. We set up immediately, within a couple of hours, 24-hour care for Jared. It turned out he didn't need it, but there was such a quick response, and we were able to get music to him, get an iPad to him, and just do a whole lot of things that all took place on the city for those who were involved there. So the reason I say that is because we couldn't have done it any other way, and I was so pleased to see the way people responded so much to Jared's need. Keep praying for him. This Crohn's disease is something that's incurable. It affects from the throat throughout the whole digestive tract, and sometimes it begins to flare up and ulcerates the whole system. So it can be very, very uncomfortable and very painful, and besides the fact that there's no way to cure it, we just try and control it. So please continue to pray for Jared. He has summer school he's still supposed to be involved in, and he's teaching at the Quayshan School. His wife is expecting their second child, so not that sickness ever comes at a convenient time, but sometimes and oftentimes, and most times, comes at a very inconvenient time. It happens to be for that in Jared and Joyce's life there. So please pray for Jared's family. Also, we have some first-time visitors today. Joyce is visiting from Bowling Green, Ohio. I'm glad to see you here, Joyce. And Tony's visiting from upstairs. So we're glad you're here. And then, would you like to introduce, I don't want to call your guests,